I want to make this very clear. It's not because I did not want to give the $10,000 to Ava. I said that immediately after she put me on the block out of frustration, right? I really don't care who got the $10,000. It was a combination of I did feel safe when Catherine closed the box in that moment. I had not heard anything from anybody where it's like I was in danger. And then also it was to keep Morgan safe 100%.
Welcome to the Secret Alliance podcast, where we talk about the game of Big Brother with the people who play it. I'm Jason Guy from Big Brother Season 3. Fresh off his BB27 eviction, Zach joins us with plenty to say. Let's begin with our question for him. Zach, you started out determined to play a purely selfish game, but at some point, something shifted. What or who flipped the switch for you?
What flipped the switch was winning the first competition of the season. Because when I realized that I had won $10,000, I knew I was an immediate target week one. I was hoping for somebody to really crash out or something like that. But if I had not won the have not immunity and Will did not select me for that week one, I would have been on the block week one. I fully believe that. And so I had to change my game. The game with Big Brother is always trying to pivot. And so I tried to pivot in that moment to really getting to know people and playing more of a selfless game. Obviously, because of that, I'm sitting here right now rather than staying in the house. But that was the ultimate reason why things change on a dime in the Big Brother house.
Do you regret not using your power for Morgan, especially since Lauren, who you thought would vote for you, didn't?
Now knowing the facts after, I would have used the power. But hindsight's always 2020. Like I said, like if I had known that Vince had thrown my name under the bus in the Adrian vote, I would have used it because that would have kind of thrown me off my relationship with him. But it is what it is. You know, it's always hindsight 2020. Yeah, it was like the perfect scenario for me to not use the power. And of course, end up getting sent home.
Why did Morgan's game seem more important than your own?
I really didn't think of it as Morgan's game over my own in that moment. I really was thinking Vince, Morgan, and I were moving as a unit of three. And I guess that to my fault, it's too much loyalty because in my eyes, it's like, why would I waste a power to put somebody else that's also my number one on the block and then potentially deal with this same thing the following week? Hence, Rachel's now HOH. I could have easily been on the block with both Vince and Morgan, and this would be one of those opportunities to pull myself off, right? And so in that moment, I really was thinking it was a waste. However, now I'm sitting at home. It is what it is. I moved too much in a group rather than thinking of myself in that moment.
You had so many chances to control your game, including with your power. Why didn't you seize those opportunities? Was that strategy, or would you play differently now?
I felt like I was getting along with everybody in the house in terms of just from a personal aspect. Like I really, really grew close with everybody in the house. And so it's one of those things where I was looking to make a move, during the beginning of jury or something a little bit later in the game. And so that's where that whole thought process came of if I did seize control a bit too early, it would have kind of bit me in the butt. I mean, for example, day one, when I ended up saving Julie, I immediately have that 10K target on my back. People are throwing out my name. I had to have the have not immunity week one, or else I would have been on the block because there were so few people that had caused issues week one. And so from that moment, I was trying to scale my game back a lot to kind of put that target off of my back. And so, yeah, I mean, that really ultimately was the reason why some of those moments I didn't seize the opportunity. And so it was just my perspective in that moment.
You called Ava and Ashley floaters, but Ava took you out, and they're both still in it. What made their games different and, in your eyes, less impressive?
Look, I think with Ava, for the first few weeks in the house, like I did save her week one with immunity being a have not, but she really didn't want to talk that much game with me. That was my perception with her. And whenever we sat down, it never was like deep conversations of the game and everybody in the house. So I didn't think she wanted to talk game in general. That's my own perception, though. I think she's playing it great right now. That HOH has kind of positioned her to be in a very good spot in the house because I don't think anyone would ever vote her out. And so for that reason, I really don't think that she is a floater. I think she has a very good chance at this point in time. With Ashley at the beginning of the game, I really did think that she was kind of floating in this game. Now, with an outside perspective, I really do think she's in a very good spot and her reads are spot on. So,
What was the real reason you didn't use your BB buyout power?
well, I want to make this very clear. It's not because I did not want to give the $10,000 to Ava. I said that immediately after she put me on the block out of frustration, right? I really don't care who got the $10,000. It was a combination of I did feel safe when Catherine closed the box in that moment. I had not heard anything from anybody where it's like I was in danger. And then also it was to keep Morgan safe 100% because the way that I viewed my game in the house was her, Vinny, and I were moving as a very close three. So it would have been a waste that week to just kind of blow my power when we're all trying to work together. That's how I played. That's how, loyal I was to that group. Obviously, if I had found out that, Vince had thrown me under the bus a couple of weeks ago in the Adrian vote, it probably would have been a bit different. Hindsight's always 2020 though.
What are your big plans for the $10,000, and are you hurt by the vote?
With the $10,000, I keep telling my mom, we've been saying it for years, I want to take her to Wimbledon and we can go watch tennis together. That has been my number one goal. My parents are also flying out to the Philippines in 2 weeks. And so I really want to use some of that money to make sure that they have one of the best trips ever. I am interested in Lauren in terms of, if anything happens outside of this house. I have already planned a date with her. And I really do want to fly out to Louisiana to see her. I think Morgan is a great person. She has like my best, she has my best intentions in her heart. So I really do respect her as a person. And I really respect her for fighting tooth or nail for me at the very end. The thing about this vote, however, is like a lot of people were afraid to be on the wrong side of the vote. That's why it ended up so lopsided.
And finally, you said it was too early for someone to target you. When did you actually realize you were at risk?
I knew I was at risk of going home probably 2 days before live. And it was after Catherine kept noms the same and after the opportunity of me using the power. So that's when I started telling Morgan and Mickey about the power because I was trying to solidify my relationship with the melting pot. Ultimately, I was hoping that, Vince or I could have pulled ourselves off the block so that it would have been, Vince or I staying in like together. And so that's when the whole perception changed. And so for that final moment, right before live, Ashley comes up to me saying that I really don't have the votes. That's when things really, really changed for me in a major way. And that's why I'm sitting at home right now.
Thank you for checking out the Secret Alliance podcast. Make sure you tell someone who loves Big Brother all about us. If you're wondering about the exit interview, we submitted a question along with other outlets to the BB PR team. They sent back video responses. We didn't interview the house guest directly. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video, watch some more, and leave us your comments. Thanks.